Hello, and welcome back to Interesting Avenue. We all love superhero movies, and every time we go to the theaters, we are excited to see them doing incredible feats as they fight against threats to their worlds. Yet, movies use computers to tell fictional stories that could never be repeated or replicated in real life. But did you know that there are real-life superhumans living with us? Let's find out in today's video. Real samurai, slicing projectiles in two. In the past, samurais were warriors whose skills in combat were legendary and feared by both friends and enemies. Isao Mashi-E is a talented superhuman whose skills could rival those of any samurai from ancient stories. Mashi-E can slice anything in two with his sword, even a pellet shot from a gun at 200 miles per hour. While most people might know how to use a sword, Isao Mashi-E is different because of his great speed and accuracy that helps him break one incredible feat after another. In the Guinness World Book of Record, Mashi-E is credited for the fastest 1,000 martial arts sword cuts, most martial arts katana cuts, and the fastest tennis ball cuts with a sword. Now, Isao Mashi-E was not born with the talent since it's a product of hard work and training. For many years, the Japanese Iida master has honed his skills with the sword, and every day he picks his favorite weapon and trains. Isao Mashi-E gives a new meaning to the phrase, "practice makes perfect." Real-life Batman, blind man sees with his tongue. If you lost your eyes today, how would you move around? Daniel Kitch is technically blind, but he has a superpower that enables him to move around and see objects around him. Using echolocation, the same ability that bats have, Kitch can drive a bike in heavy traffic, camp in the wild, and even climb trees. So, how did he do it? After losing his eyes to retina cancer when he was a kid, Daniel Kitch taught himself how to use his tongue as a navigational technique. By clicking his tongue, Kitch listens to the sound that bounces off objects in the surrounding environment. When the sound returns in different volumes, he estimates the size of the obstacle and how far it is. Daniel Kitch is just like Daredevil, the blind superhero from the comics who uses radar sense to perceive objects around him. Over time, Kitch got so good in his ability that other blind people hire him to help them get around. Photographic memory. No camera, no problem. Ever wished you could remember everything that you ever saw? Stephen Wiltshire is a superhuman with a photographic memory with the ability to memorize and draw anything he sees in intricate details. Stephen Wiltshire was born autistic and didn't speak until age 5. But when he finally did, his first words were pen and paper. As an adult, Wiltshire uses his powers for good, making impressions of skylines and street scenes with just one helicopter ride across. One of the best achievements by Stephen Wiltshire was his London skyline in 360 painting, which was a panorama of major landmarks in London. The most astounding fact is that he did the painting without any sketches, photos, or notes. Every detail he captured was on point. How cool is that? Head balancer. My head can carry anything. John Evans earned his fame as a strongman who can balance anything on his head. And for many, his talents are both astounding and entertaining. Evans' achievements require no introduction, and from lifting pints of beer to a 352-pound, 159.6 kilogram car for 33 seconds, the superhuman can support anything with his head and neck. John Evans, who holds 33 Guinness World Records for balancing items on his head, is not your everyday weightlifter, and he admits that he never goes to the gym. While working as a laborer in construction, Evans realized that balancing bricks on his head made him haul more bricks than he would with his hands. Over time, he developed a strong neck as the daily work kept him in shape. Years later, Evans tested his capabilities only to discover that his bone density was just like that of a 20-year-old. While many people get weaker as they age, Evans' body keeps getting stronger, an ability that makes it possible for him to support weights with his skeleton alone. Other notable achievements by this superhuman include balancing motorcycles, 2 cyclists on their bikes, washing machines, and bunk beds. It is very probable that John Evans could carry the weight of the world on his head if he was big enough to hold it. Human lightning conductor. Lightning 7, Man 0, They say that lightning never strikes the same place twice, but one man from the US is an exception to this rule. Roy Cleveland Sullivan, a former US park ranger, earned the title of the Spark Ranger after being struck by lightning 7 times in his life. Roy, who holds the record for most lightning strikes for any human in history, was exposed to risks of lightning strikes in his job as a park ranger. By working out in the open, the ranger was at more risk of being hit by lightning. But the surprising thing was that with each incident, he survived exceptionally. The first time he was hit, Roy walked away with a hole in his shoe. The second burned off his eyebrows and eyelashes. And the third time, it seared his left shoulder. Defying statistics that show that 10% of people who get struck by lightning die, while 90% are left with disabilities. Roy never saw an emergency room after a lightning strike. Yet, because Roy was a lightning magnet, many people avoided him for fear that they would also get struck if a storm hit. At the end of his life, Roy took his own life by suicide for unknown reasons that had many theorizing that he was tired of watching out for storm clouds. Spider-Man climbs any building with no equipment. Alain Robert, also known as the French Spider-Man, is a professional rock climber, but mountains aren't the only things he can scale. Name the tallest buildings in the world, and Roberts has likely climbed a few of them. Alain Robert takes pride in being the most famous free climber in the world, and he's climbed over 100 buildings, and he's still going. In 2011, Robert proved why he's the best when he climbed Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. In the 828-meter climb, Robert took just 6 hours, using nothing but his hands, feet, and an indomitable spirit. What makes Alain Robert special? His technique, training, and physical conditioning enable him to scale buildings by latching onto small outcrops. Robert is a daredevil who believes that fear should not control our lives. In the past, Robert has been arrested on multiple occasions for scaling buildings while wearing a Spider-Man outfit. For the athlete, being great has more to do with sacrifice and concentration, qualities he has mastered over many years. The Flash, legs that can't stop running. How many marathons can you run in a year? Dean Karnazes is an ultra-marathon runner, but his greatest accomplishment was running 50 marathons in 50 days, back-to-back. In 2005, Karnazes showed the world why he's better than Flash from the comics when he ran 350 miles, 560 kilometers, in 80 hours and 44 minutes across North Carolina. In the incredible display of both stamina and endurance, Karnazes didn't stop to eat or sleep, and for over 3 days, his legs just couldn't stop running. Other achievements by this legend include running a marathon to the South Pole in 2002 and a 199-mile, 320-kilometer relay from Calistoga to Santa Cruz. According to Men's Fitness, Dean Karnazes is one of the fittest men on the planet, and from his impressive resume, it's clear why he deserves the title. Like all the great runners, Karnazes has trained himself never to give up even when his body tells him to stop. But as a superhuman, Karnazes' muscles don't ever get tired, an ability that makes it possible to keep moving where many would quit. The Iceman, real-life snowman? How much cold is too cold for you? Wim Hof entered the Guinness World Record for his unique ability to sit in an ice bath for 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 2 seconds. Hof, famous for his ability to withstand freezing temperatures, is a daredevil who is always chasing the next world record. With over 26 records under his belt, Hof is always pushing the limits of the human body, and his accolades are even more impressive. Other achievements by the Iceman include running the fastest half-marathon, barefoot on ice, snow, and attempting to climb Mount Everest wearing nothing but shorts and shoes. It seems that there's nothing this real-life snowman won't try. If it involves shocking acts of cold endurance, you can bet that Wim Hof has tried it. As a fitness guru, Wim Hof credits his achievements to techniques such as the Buddhist tumble meditation technique. The practice that was perfected by monks literally translates to inner fire, a deep state of meditation achieved through breathing and visualization. Also, using his very own Wim Hof method, the unstoppable man aims to change the world through breathing, meditation, and cold exposure. That brings us to the end of today's video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.